Hello everybody, I hope you are doing well. I wanted to bring you quickly to take a little step into my life for a minute, especially because I am finally back in a bit of nature, not in lockdown. I'm isolating at my family home where we have a wonderful big backyard, very quintessentially Canadian, in the middle of nowhere. You can do some wood chopping for the winter, not that I'm doing much of that. It's so good here when it's just covered in snow. The chickens are insanely obsessed with blueberries, so we'll bring them little treats. And of course, there is our dog, Mr. Anderson, or Antifa Andy when he is being naughty. It has been really, really lovely to be out here touching grass with a nice support group for my Twitter addiction. And it's reminded me of a video I've wanted to make for a very long time on why people partake in politics today versus why they should be taking part in politics. In particular, those who fight for the cause, the infamous cause, or the movement, something I am very well acquainted with. And in aging and experiencing life a bit more, at the ripe age of 26, I have come to absolutely despise the cause. And I am extremely skeptical whenever people say that is what they are fighting for. Let me get into this. If you're not sure what the cause is, it's usually a phrase used to describe a general political effort. So, the cause for the right or the cause for the left. We have to fight for the cause, the movement. And while I generally have supported that message for many years, I started to get confused when I noticed people saying this and generally not being able to define or describe the cause as anything more than a political goal. The cause is for the right, or for conservatism, or for progressivism. It appeared, and I know this is not everyone, but for some, and usually the most dedicated people that were involved every single day in political discourse, the cause had become the cause. I hope that makes sense. Rather than a cause for anything else. It wasn't I'm doing this because my local community has really been struggling with current policies, or I don't want my child to grow up in a world that teaches them X, Y, or Z. In fact, often many of these people, and I mean like highly dedicated people into politics and activism, did not have interests or life outside of politics. Hello. I had this problem, and I sometimes still struggle with finding a balance, but I've gotten infinitely better. I spent a ton of time talking about the importance of community at the peak of my career, whilst never building up any community of my own and living this very cosmopolitan life all over the world, which gave me a very skewed view of what my actual aims and goals were and what the actual aims and goals of the average person were, which I think has caused a massive disconnect in politics today and is why so many politicians have no idea what their constituents actually care about, because politics to them is not about the things their constituents care about, but rather their larger political or career goals that they're trying to achieve. Politicians are concerned about what policy is going to look pretty on an advertising campaign and for their cause, and not getting the damn bins out picked up on time every week, which is what Craig and his wife on Hickory Street desperately need because they're juggling 4 kids and don't have time to drive to the dump Wednesday afternoon, and their car is stuffed full of hockey equipment in the trunk so things don't fit in there anyway, and it's really psychologically messing with them that their letters to their local representative get ignored because he's too busy drafting up an international outreach plan despite being a local council member because he knows it's going to offshoot his career into global politics. I hope you're following, but what I am essentially saying is that we should not be partaking in politics for the sake of politics at any level, whether you're a big politician or just someone that's commenting on videos. We partake in politics to make people's lives better. That is the purpose. Politics is a necessary evil, something that's really destructive and toxic in a lot of ways, but we still have to engage with to a degree for the sake of those we love. We have to engage with it to ensure that false information isn't being spread, which leads to bad policies, to ensure our communities' needs are being met and communicated and our rights are being protected. But if you don't have something built outside of the realm of politics or nothing you care about anymore other than your team or side, then the only reason you are partaking in politics is for your own narcissistic need for purpose. And that is really unhealthy for the political realm and for you as a person. I say this because I know it myself. There has to be real people behind your actions, or one day you'll find you actually hurt real people in exchange for achieving political goals. I mean, those people were just sacrifices for the cause, right? To make it happen. And we can use extreme examples like this. Look at what Stalin did. He got to insane levels of self and country destruction for the sake of his movement. And it seems we've just got all these mini Stalins running around Twitter all day, just 10 times more pathetic, because at least Stalin ran a nation, while they're just in their fishbowl of 10,000 people LARPing and thinking that getting their political opponents banned or ratioed is the most important accomplishment they could achieve that week. In fact, in my experience with right-wing politics, amongst people who were the most dedicated cause members, they were usually the ones who caused the most drama, because they would purity spiral rather than focus on real legitimate problems. They were involved in this every single day, nitpicking every single little disagreement because they had nothing else to focus on in their life. There was no urgency behind their politics because it was all from behind a screen, and they had no stake in the game. No family that would be affected by their actions, none of it. It's something the right and everyone can pretty easily recognize when we observe the left and the riots they've had the last few years, totally destroying their community, and you think, it's pretty obvious you don't actually care about these people. You're not connected to them. If this was your mother's shop, your friend's car, you wouldn't burn these things to the ground. You'd probably be defending them. You are just disaffected and want to be a part of something. And if they get caught up in an interview, they'll scream, "We're fighting injustice. We're fighting the man." But no, they're not. Deep down, I think they know they're not. But they're the ones that act the most radical, aren't they? And I'm really not trying to call people out right now. I'm actually trying to call all of us out, because this begins on a really subtle level mentally to anyone. If you find yourself deeply passionate about issues that you ignore dealing with in your personal life, that's fine. We're all hypocrites sometimes, and sometimes we can use our own failures to warn others. But honestly, I'm telling you right now, beyond it being better for politics to have real people and real issues solved in front of you, it's just going to be better for you as well. Go out, build a real community, go build something outside of this twisted, tragicomic world of politics, because it will chew you up and spit you out no matter how hard you fight for it. Because you're just fighting for politics, which means the people you're surrounded by are just fighting for politics too, not you. They don't care about you. Which is why you shouldn't fight for the cause or the movement. You should fight for real people instead. But anyways, speaking of having no life and being obsessed with politics, Patient Zero here has got a debate tomorrow with the Serfs at about 3 p.m. if you feel like tuning in. Look at me exacerbating the problem I'm talking about right now. No, you know what? No. There's always a balance in everything. Life is about living in the tension. As long as you've got a bit of both in your life, you'll be pretty grounded and be all right. I'll chat next time to you all. Love you. Looking forward to reading the comments. Bye.